Hello, good morning. My thought for the day. Hmm. You know, so much is talked about with the way Filipinos react or the way they appear to be when it comes to foreigners deciding on a Filipino as a partner, a wife. I think that we all tend to focus on their reaction to us in a maybe somewhat negative way because we don't understand them. Have you ever thought that maybe they don't understand us? You know, we can act the goat, be funny, we can be amusing, but for some Filipinos, they get embarrassed that we're not reaching a standard that they would expect a foreigner to be in. I say that because just like it's one of the cultural aspirations or ways they are, is that you don't find them hugging and kissing in the street. You don't find signs of adoration being shown. You might get a kiss goodbye in public, on the cheek maybe, like you would kiss your grandson or your granddaughter. A squeeze maybe. But you won't find public displays of affection because it sort of goes contrary to the way they think. We think that, oh, we show affection, we show attention. Often we might say, oh, you look very pretty today, or that dress suits you. And they're somewhat surprised by it, just as they are maybe surprised that you opened the door, not the security guard, when they wanted to walk through into Jollibee or wherever. These things are normal for us to show our masculinity, to show our appreciation of a beautiful Filipina. But for them, they think it's maybe a little bit daft. Why is that? Why is it that they feel that way? Have you noticed how, when maybe you're building a home for them, there's a lack of immediate appreciation of what you're doing? It's not that they don't appreciate it, it's just they don't know how to show it in a way that you would expect to receive it. Again, that's not assuming that we should always be expecting praise and adoration for things that we may think we are doing for them. Because it just doesn't work that way. They're more concerned about what other people think than what you think. You know, I can joke about wearing sunglasses when you go to the mall. That way your wandering eye, not for reasons of cheating, but your eyes are feasted with such beauty around you. Why wouldn't you look at a beautiful girl, a handsome man? Why not? Well, the best way to hide that is dark glasses. Have you noticed how certain people wear dark glasses all the time when they're out? Maybe they caught on to the idea that their eyes moving around aren't seen by their partner. Now, of course, if she wears dark glasses, is she looking at all the other foreigners? I don't think so. What she's doing is she's wearing what she thinks are designer copies, or even maybe real designer glasses, and hoping that people notice these things. Because I once was told by a very close friend that having a foreigner was a status symbol, something that other people were envious of. Now, we don't see it that way. We just see ourselves, out of our eyes, as a foreigner. Someone from Australia, someone from England, New Zealand, or America. But for them, they are very aware that their friends know that they are with a foreigner. So there's the assumption that their friend is aware that their lives are very fortunately changed to the better. Sometimes that's a little hard to handle because we may have a modest pension, a modest income, and we have a better opportunity for things that like going away for a holiday, going to resorts on a weekend, maybe just popping into Starbucks, no problem. Maybe going to the better restaurants, or should I say the more expensive ones. But for them, it's a photo opportunity, something to be shared with their friends. I'm sure amongst family members, there's a certain amount of envy maybe that sister has a foreigner boyfriend and that one doesn't. And when they go out as a family group, it's you, the foreigner, that the host, the restaurateur, looks to, not so much the troop of Filipino faces. After all, it's usually you that pays the bill for everybody. Not always, but most of the time. I can recall times when I was in London with my last wife and my son, and how we sat down in Wimbledon, I think it was called a Thank God It's Friday store, sort of a chain where you can have a beer, alcohol, and a very mass-produced meal. And there were probably 8 of us, 8 adults and one or two children. Can you believe that the bill came to nearly £600? And that was being very careful. And I can't believe that everybody put their amount in the middle for one person to be the person that actually paid, maybe with their card, and they took the cash as being their compensation for the meal. But then, of course, when that was paid, there was a thing called a tip. A tip? Weren't they getting a salary to come and look after the table? Of course they were. But in England, just like in America, tips are what a lot of these people live on as an additional income. Our tip was 80 quid. 80 quid for looking after 8 people. That's £10 each. Appalling. Here in the Philippines, you might have a 2,000 peso meal or a 1,500 peso meal for 4 or 5 people to sit down. And they maybe leave an extra 150 at the table. Doesn't seem to hurt, does it? Don't feel like you're splashing out. But 80 quid for a meal as a tip on top of 600 quid? Oh, the world's gone crazy, has it not? Just remember, she, who must be obeyed if she's a Filipino, is somewhat in awe when that happens. She has her family around them, and the security of knowing that he'll fit the bill. Bye now.